So hey, welcome back to They Luv. If this is your first time here, my name is They Luv Destiny, and I'm with They Luv Streaming and Behind the Reel. They Luv Streaming is where we talk about all our favorite streaming shows and movies, and we write reviews about them on our website. Just have a fun time highlighting things we like. And Behind the Reel is my personal movie blog that I started to talk about movies in the Hollywood business, movies that go straight to movie theaters. So if that interests you, I link both of those websites down below. But today I'm here to review WandaVision, not only the season finale, but the entire season overall, give you my thoughts. And yes, this review will include spoilers, but I will put timestamps in the description down below for when I start spoilers. But first, I just want to give my overall review before I get to the negatives and the positives of the season finale and the season overall of WandaVision. So, my personal review of this final episode, the season finale, with no spoilers, is I think that episode 9 brings to a close for me, the most character-driven and emotional project in the MCU to date. I think WandaVision tells a beautiful story of grief and perseverance, especially through Elizabeth Olsen's stellar performance as Wanda Maximoff, who is rightfully established as the most powerful character in the MCU. I really love that. We'll get more into that in the spoilers later. But to me, WandaVision definitely isn't a perfect show due to the multiple red herrings, and I think where the mystery of Westview kind of fell apart, at least in the last few episodes. But the ending did feel a bit safe to me compared to the kind of off the rails ending that a lot of people expected. And while WandaVision is, I feel that WandaVision is a stepping stone to a larger story, it can also stand on its own due to the amazing performances from all of the cast, the great writing, and the emotional core of the show. And I will be rewatching WandaVision, and that's how much I enjoyed it again. Just sometimes, to me, mostly with movies, you can tell when they're just trying to set up a sequel. Even though WandaVision, you can tell they're setting up something else, it also can stand on its own. I think WandaVision probably is a good lesson to some people where they can't make a project that sets up something, but at the same time stands on its own 2 feet. You can rewatch it, enjoy the performances. I feel like WandaVision is a great example of that. So yes, I will be rewatching WandaVision, and not just to pass the time before Falcon and Winter Soldier, but also because I really liked it. And I like rewatching things, especially mysteries, where I have the context of what happens at the end. So that's my kind of non-spoiler review for episode 9 and this my overall feeling for the season overall. But now I wanted to get into spoilers. And again, timestamps will be in the description down below if you want to jump to different things. But I actually want to start with the negatives before I get to the positives. Just start with the bad and with the good, And honestly, there's not too many things that are negative to me. But these are things that I cannot ignore and what I did not like in general. But again, there's more positive and negative. That's why I want to start with my negative criticisms of the show. So, I think the most egregious offense from WandaVision is I feel the waste of Evan Peters. Again, I love Twitter. I scroll through Twitter all the time. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I'll link it down below. I'll put it up on the screen, whatever. But I was seeing some people compare kind of the reveal of Evan Peters being Ralph Boner to the reveal of the Mandarin in Iron Man 3. And at first I thought that was an over-exaggeration, but as I was thinking about this more, as I was writing my notes for this, I really think that's a good comparison. I think they really did waste Evan Peters. They did nothing with him. I can understand having a misdirect or red herring, but oh my gosh, I can't forgive this. I can't forgive this. And if you watched my last video, I did a video of my last minute WandaVision predictions before the finale today. I said in that video that if Evan Peters just ended up being a local neighbor, being controlled by Agatha, I would be mad because that's a waste of Evan Peters. And that's exactly what happened, and now I'm mad. Like a lot of people. Because it's not just because it's not Pietro. I knew he wasn't Pietro. I knew he was Pietro. I knew that. But it's also just because Evan Peters is an amazing actor. If you've seen him in American Horror Story, he plays a lot of villainous roles already. And for him not to be at least, not even a major villain, but even a minor villain like Nightmare or just being Agatha's son or something, it was a waste of him. And to be honest, even though I knew he was fake Pietro, I was okay with him being Pietro as long as it was like a misdirect to him being like some other villain or some other minor character who would end up being important in some way. But no, it's revealed that he actually is Ralph, but he's Ralph Boner, who's an actor who's an actor in Westview, and they really just wasted him for like a boner joke. And honestly, if he ended up being an actor, I would honestly forgive it if it was more meta and it was Evan Peters playing himself, and he just was in Westview. That would have been at least a bit more clever to me, but no, they wasted him. That was, honestly, that's my main criticism, and which honestly goes into my next criticism, is that even for a mystery, I just feel like there were too many misdirects, too many red herrings, and too much trolling. First of all, Dottie turned out to be really nothing. Again, she ended up being like a local neighbor who was also being controlled unintentionally, but intentionally by Wanda. Monica's contact, the aerospace engineer that she alluded to, ended up being nothing. All the references to demon spawn, hell, devil, anything like that, nothing. And even like the cast members of the show, I swear they were just trolling us by saying, oh, there's gonna be a major cameo later, there's gonna be a cameo on equal level to Luke Skywalker in The Mandalorian, which if you watch The Mandalorian at all, you know that was a very big deal because they kept this secret the whole time, and that was awesome. So I just felt like they were just trolling us. And then the thing is, you can troll and like, you know, be in a like a funny way, but this is too much. This is honestly too much. Yeah, and for me, there's no problem with having red herrings, having things that are misdirects, but towards the end of the show, it seems like most everything was a misdirect or it was just forgotten in some way. It was very, very strange. And also, it leads me into another criticism, but it's really not a criticism of the show itself. It's kind of a criticism of the fandom. It's kind of weird, but it was just something I was noting again, scrolling through Twitter, just seeing people's reactions and things. I like to know what people think of things, even though I already have formed my own opinion. And I love WandaVision. Honestly, I love the finale. We're gonna get into my positives in like a minute. But I don't understand the people who are getting mad at fans for doing what they do best, you know, having fun and theorizing about things, especially since it was a week-to-week show. And especially since the cast was hinting at things, saying there would be like a big cameo, a big appearance, or this is gonna be the most emotional. I mean, it was very emotional, but so much. Even the cast was hyping it up so much. The only person who wasn't hyping it up was the director. Like only like a few days before the finale, saying like, oh, I hope fans aren't disappointed by all the theories. I hope they're okay. But I don't get this part of the fandom saying that the fans who have fun theorizing and want to, you know, see these theories come to light, that somehow they also can't appreciate the message of grief, love, perseverance. Like, I don't understand why there's such a divide. Because I saw some people commenting saying that fans kind of set themselves up because there were so many theories and you just set yourself up to be disappointed. And I don't think that's true. Because I have noticed there is with the show, there are Wanda fans who watch it for Wanda. There are like, you know, the Marvel, like the MCU fans. And then there's like the MCU fans and the comics fans. And I'm like in all those groups. I love Wanda, I love Marvel, and I love the comics. I'm a nerd. And I love theorizing with my fellow nerds. It's actually a really fun thing to do. But I just feel like it's not true that fans set themselves up, especially since the show set these things up so the fans would theorize, so it would trend on Twitter, so we have something to talk about week to week. Like, look at Evan Peters. Why cast him? Why have his role at first be so malicious? Like, there was something in the undercurrent there, like I think on the Halloween episode. Why all the references to the devil and demon spawn? It doesn't make any sense, and it's very dumb to say like, oh, you were just disappointed yourself because you were theorizing. What? That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. And it also doesn't make any sense that if you are theorizing, you can't appreciate the deeper message, because I think that's the point of comics to me. That's why I read comics. Like, that's the point of being a nerd. You analyze things, you theorize, you break it down, you geek out. and you find deeper meanings. Like these characters in comics, they seem real to you. So it doesn't mean you can't have the best of both worlds. You can theorize, but also find a deeper message. Yeah, I just don't like this divide in the WandaVision fandom, especially the criticism towards fans who are a little bit disappointed because some of their theories didn't turn out to be correct, especially when those theories were hinted at heavily, especially the devil stuff. So that's more my criticism towards like things I've seen online, not the show itself. But I just have to comment about that because it was just odd to me. It's an odd criticism of people who support the show and, you know, in the long term. So those are like my main negatives. Honestly, it really just stemmed from Evan Peters. I felt being wasted, and again, so many red herrings just felt like it was just ridiculous to a point. But the positives, so many positives. I love the character development for Wanda, especially finally establishing her as the most powerful MCU character, especially since in the lore, I think the book is called The Darkhold. It's said that the Scarlet Witch is stronger than the Sorcerer Supreme, which I think was also even hinted at in just the final big showdown between Wanda and Agatha. Because it's shown that Wanda is a very fast learner. She picked up very quickly of the thing that Agatha said last episode, like, oh, if a witch has cast her runes in a certain place, the other witch can't use her magic where a witch has cast her runes. So when she was battling against Agatha, she learned very quickly just to make her own runes. Like she made the whole hexagon cast her runes so Agatha couldn't cast her magic, and she just distracted her and let her believe that she was winning. By the way, that was part Agatha, stop monologuing. Why do villains monologue? You gave her time to do that. But that does lead me into another thing that I didn't really like. I really like that Agatha is not dead. Marvel just has a thing of killing villains immediately. So I like that Agatha's not dead. I even like that Wanda said, like, if I do need you, I guess if I do go crazy like you say, I'll know where to find you. So I really hope she comes back, maybe in Doctor Strange 2. That would be great. But for now, she is trapped being the nosy neighbor. And Wanda's final transformation into the Scarlet Witch, and her costume was beautiful. The transformation scene, beautiful. The costume, beautiful. I love the pants. I love the crown. I love the color. I love like the cape. Everything was great. And I don't know why when things go from movies to TV, I just have this inherent fear that things are gonna look cheaper. But that costume for Scarlet Witch for Wanda was so amazing, and it didn't look like, oh, this is a TV show and these are the movies. Like it can easily go into the movies, and I really appreciate that. Now, one of my other favorite things about the finale and just the show overall is just the emotional core of the TV show in general. I did see a tweet, I wish I could find it, but I did see a tweet that like this entire show is just the craziest grief therapy session ever, and I thought that was really funny but also really true. Because overall, I just love the message of how we handle grief, how to let things go, how to persevere through love. Like, it's just so amazing. And even the ending, even though it was heartbreaking, really, the ending was actually really heartbreaking, knowing that Wanda would have to give up her children, give up Vision, and even Vision's final question to her, what am I? And she's saying, you're my sadness, my hope, you're the part of the Mind Stone in me, but most of all, you're my love, and saying that like, oh, we'll say hello again. There's just, the writing is just so amazing, and it just hits you in the gut. Honestly, if it doesn't hit you in the gut, I just don't know, like, I just don't know what will, because it's heartbreaking in so many ways, but there's also like a healing aspect to it. And at the end of the show, I do like that Wanda is not all the way hero, but not all the way villain either. She has finally said, even when she's leaving and she's seeing the neighbors look at her, she's just consigned to the fact that some people will just look at me in a way, and I can never change the way they see me, even if they know what I sacrificed, like Monica told her. And even with Monica, like the way they handle grief in the show, usually you would think it's just a Wanda, but I love how Monica is also handling her grief with her mother, and that's maybe why she felt so much sympathy for Wanda and wanted to help her so badly. So I really love that. I love the ending of it. It really just hit me in the heart. I I love the writing of this, and I love how they handle grief and everything. It's so amazing. And with the two last things, with the post-credit scenes, there was 2 post-credit scenes, and the first one, I did have to say I did like the mini kind of Skrull cameo. I don't think the Skrull was anyone we know, but the amazing thing that I love about that post-credit scene so much is that the Skrull takes Monica into a movie theater to like talk to her privately, and she says, "Oh, someone wants to see you," and she points up to up in the air, and we know like, oh, she means space, and I'm hoping she means Nick Fury. But what I loved about that whole scene so much was that just this expression on Teyonah Parris' face, I really felt like she was the grown-up version of the girl from Captain Marvel, like the awe on her face, like, oh my gosh, I can actually go to space now because I glow. Like it was great. It was just so fantastic. And the last post-credit scene shows Wanda, I think in maybe the Sokovia Mountains. She is like in a little cabin, and she's walking around making tea, but it shows that there's an astral form of her looking at the Darkhold. Almost like Doctor Strange when he would be in his astral form and he's sleeping, but he would be reading in his astral form. But she's looking at the Darkhold, and like I said, one page of the Darkhold shows the Scarlet Witch, and the other page shows the multiverse. So is she looking at different realities to see Billy and Tommy? Because we hear, I think it's Billy, I think it's Billy who says Mom helped, so maybe she hears an alternate version of him in another universe, and that's kind of a little nod we get towards the multiverse, because a lot of people were expecting a big kind of ending, breaking open the multiverse, but that didn't really happen. So it's just a small nod. And again, WandaVision is supposed to connect to Spider-Man 3 and then go into Doctor Strange 2. But Kevin Feige said it at the Disney Investor Day. So again, like I said, even though this is a stepping stone, it didn't feel like it can. I feel like it can also stand on its own because of the emotional core of the show overall. So those are my thoughts on WandaVision, the season finale, and the season overall. Overall, I really like this show, other than like the small criticisms I had about, Evan Peters. Honestly, that's my main criticism. My main criticism is just wasting Evan Peters and kind of the trolling I felt towards fans. But what do you guys think of WandaVision? Will you be rewatching it like I will? Will you just be rewatching it just to like take up time before Falcon and Winter Soldier? Let me know. I think I will be making a video about Young Avengers. I want to do a 4 Dummies video. And now that WandaVision has finished and I guess we can have a few hints to where Billy and Tommy are, I wanted to make a video about Young Avengers and break that down. So look for that in a couple weeks. I don't know. It'll be up. But yeah, comment down below, let me know what you think, like this video, and subscribe to the channel for more content. I'll talk to you guys later.